So greetings from the ASH meeting in Orlando. This is a very exciting meeting in which we can see that a range, in fact a tsunami of new and potentially transformative treatments for patients with acute myeloid leukemia are being developed and showing some very promising early clinical data. At the same time, there's compelling evidence now that using genomics we can not only identify new drugs, but also actually identify which patients are more likely to respond to particular therapies. And this progress is long awaited, and it comes off the back of the investment of trillions of pounds and dollars by taxpayers across the world in basic science. That investment was predicated, it was based on the belief that we understood science, we developed new treatments. And at last, after 60 years of amazing scientific progress, we're now seeing matched clinical advances. But our responsibility must now therefore be to ensure patients see these new drugs as quickly as possible and benefit from the genomic stratification that is so important. So I think there's a lot of people at this meeting saying that our clinical trial infrastructure needs to be enhanced and reformed to reflect these very exciting therapeutic opportunities. We need to build trial networks that accelerate the setup and recruitment to trials so that as these new therapies come through, they can be assessed as quickly as possible. That's important so they get licensed and so patients can access them. And the other factor that is becoming increasingly recognized is as even relatively common diseases like acute myeloid leukemia, one of the commoner blood cancers, become stratified into specific genetic subgroups which may respond distinctly to specific agents, we need to build very large catchment regions if we're going to have a chance to recruit at the appropriate level of speed. So there are two good examples, I think, in the UK of how this might be done. One is the Trials Acceleration Program, which is a hub in Birmingham that works up clinical trials very quickly, and then by funding research nurses in major leukemia centres across the country, creating a catchment region of 20 million, permits very rapid accrual to trials. And the other is in the setting of stem cell transplantation, which is a key curative approach in patients with acute myeloid leukemia, but a treatment approach that still has significant toxicity and doesn't always deliver the long-term survival that we aim for. The Impact Transplant Trials Network is also working by putting research nurses into major transplant centres to accelerate recruitment to transplant trials so that we understand how to deliver transplants not only more safely but also with better effect. So the UK in many ways has got two leading propositions, but it's also clear that we need to work internationally, that the cooperative groups across Europe need to be forging partnerships so that we can ask these really important questions and get the answers as quickly as possible. We owe our patients no less.